So I want to dig into this characterization of your mother as martyr, because that was a very, very interesting thing. Well, because and you characterized that as a different form of narcissism. So there's a bunch of reasons I want to delve into that. So see, one of the primary forms that female narcissism takes is something like the martyrdom of false compassion. Right. And it's
okay.
It's
can I interject something?
You absolutely can. Yes.
It's interesting you say that, because in Buddhism, we also, of course, Buddhism teaches compassion. It teaches that compassion should be, the foundation from which all of our activities spring from. However, there's also very strict teachings about the false understanding of compassion. And in Tibetan Buddhism, it's referred to in the translation it's referred to as idiot compassion. Now, idiot compassion is when it's motivated for the wrong reasons. If it's either motivated for personal gain, or it's motivated to, create some favorable response for yourself. Maybe you want to look better in other people's eyes. You're doing it for some reason that's going to actually buttress your ego. That's idiot compassion. And you have to really be careful not to do that.
Okay, so in the story of Adam and Eve, right, it's Eve who precipitates the fall, although Adam is equally at fault. His role in that particular catastrophe is secondary. But I think Eve's fundamental sin is the idiot compassion that you just described. So let me untangle that a bit, and you tell me what you think about it, because we're getting at something very fundamental here. Like, your father was a showman for the cult of Lucifer, let's say, but you're pointing out very clearly that your mother enabled and abetted that, and for her own martyrdom reasons. Okay, so
she was an enabler. She was a classic
Eve's basic
enabler.
sin. Well, and she also ignored you, which is an interesting detail, and then also in some ways sacrificed you to the propagation of the cult. Now, Eve's fundamental sin, so you could imagine what the story of Adam and Eve does is it sets up the fundamental patterns of masculinity and femininity, and it does that in a very compacted manner. And
I would say according to the Abrahamic paradigm.
Yes, definitely.
But not according to all paradigm.
No, but there's an interesting overlap with what you just described, and I'd like to delve into that. Okay,
and the reason why is I just want to interject. The reason why there's an interesting overlap is because, in essence, even a Church of Satan is Abrahamic. So yes, that would be because it has to by sheer definition. How can you have a Church of Satan if it isn't in reaction to something that is, it is in essence a sect? An Abrahamic, just yet another offshoot or sect
an anti-sect
of the Abrahamic religions.
Correct. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
But still within that framework.
Yes.
And as such, that's what my father was playing with, was flipping the archetype of, okay, if the church says Satan is evil, then we're going to flip it and we're going to say he's good. And then it's just a reversal. It's a role reversal. But within that same paradigm. So I'm only elucidating on why what you're about to describe is under the paradigm of Abrahamic religions, this archetype of, or this example of typical masculine, typical feminine. But I would disagree that that's the only way of defining masculine and feminine, because, to my understanding, in a more broad sense, there is more of a spectrum. So you can have malignant feminine behavior, and you can have heroic feminine behavior. You can have malignant masculine behavior and heroic masculine behavior. And so that's more like a grid or a spectrum. It's not just this or that.